Okay, everyone's been talking about this Tesla truck versus this Ford F-150. Which one's going to win? And so here is the situation that they had set up. So here is the Ford F-150, and here is the Tesla truck, and they're connected together with a tow rope, and they turn them on, and this is what happens. Nothing. Okay, you see that the Tesla truck won. Okay, but this is not so much about the power. Well, it's more about the mass. So this car right here only has one battery in it. This one has two. So this one is more powerful, and it won. Big surprise. But what would happen if I increase the mass of this one and I turn this on? This one, I think the batteries. Well, you see there, it's spinning out, right? That one's definitely not winning because that one's more massive. They have the same frictional force. They have the same frictional coefficient of friction, but this one with a greater mass has a greater frictional force, so it's able to pull it this way. So it's not a fair test. So what can we do? Well, how can we make a fair test between these two? The first question is, what are you actually trying to test? Are you trying to test the towing ability? Are you trying to test the power? I don't even know. Okay. So one thing would be to remove the friction. You could do this. These tires have little groove marks, and what's it's like a gear tire, so there's no slipping. That'd be one way. Here's another way. What if I did this? Here's my Tesla truck. I hang the back wheel over a drop-off, or you jack it up or something. And then here's my Ford truck. Do the same thing. Now I wrap a cable around the tire with the mass down here and do the same thing and then start. So the cars run, and the goal is to lift this mass. The first one to lift the mass up wins. That definitely removes any frictional things, right? And it's purely a test of the power of that truck. It doesn't depend on the mass, doesn't depend on anything. I suspect that Tesla would win because it's an electric motor, not a gas, but still, that would be fair. What other tests could you do? What about, you could do, you could have this anchored to a wall, and you could do the same thing. Have that on ground, have that jacked up so that back tire's not running, and then have a sled that you drag. And then have each of those drag a sled. And the one that drags the sled the fastest wins. That'd be another option. But anything that removes that frictional element right there, it's not really a test of which car is better. So there you go.